Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power? Who's the power? Bahashem. Bahashem. The blessing of the Sabbath. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, to give to us the Sabbath day in peace. Thank you, so be it. Amen. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Lathananawa. Hashabath. Bashalom. Thawada. Thanyad. Amen. The calling of the tribes. Tribes to the east. Yawasat. Banyamyan. Dan. Shemai. Yasharella. Yahweh. Ahrahyahla. Yahweh. Hakad. Saw, turn. Tribes to the south. Shemai one. Yashakar. Zabala one. Shemai. Yasharella. Yahweh. Ahrahyahla. Yahweh. Hakad. Saw, turn. Tribes to the west. Gad, Ashar, Naphtali, Shemai, Yasharella, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Hakad. Saw, turn. Tribes to the north. Roban, Yahweh, Loya, Shemai, Yasharella, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Hakad. So, turn. Shemai, Yasharella, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Hakad. Hero Israel, Yahweh's our power, Yahweh's one. Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, the word of the Yad. Amen. The blessing of the Torah. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, name Yahweh Shai, to give to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Lathananawa. Hathorah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, name Yahweh Shai, to give to us the light to see. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Lathananawa. Ha'awar. Lara'ah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, name Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the ram's horn to call a people. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Lathananawa. Ha'ayo. Lakra'ah. Ha'ayam. Blessed are you, Yahweh, name Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatha Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. Lathananawa. Hasheman. Zayath. Lamashak. Yasharella. Thawada. Thanyad. Amen. The Ten Commandments in the Lashawan Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew only. La'a, Yahaya, Laka, Alaharium, Akarium, Alpanya. La'a, Thaisha, Laka, Basal, Wala'a, Thibadum. La'a, Baquaquaf, Sham, Yahweh, Bashua, Sakar, Hayawam, Hashabath, Lakwadashua, Kabad, Abaka, Wa'amaka. La'a, Yatazachaaq, La'a, Pana'at, La'a, Thaganab, La'a, Lainor, Shakur, La'a, Thakamad, Kal, Asharai, Lara'aika, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the Wada, Thanyad, Amen. The Ten Commandments, the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1.
And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy power in vain, for Yahweh will not hold them guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that the days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yehoshai, Torah Portion Gen. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Who's the power? Who's the power? Ba'ashem. Ba'ashem. The Lord's Prayer in the Lashon Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew only. Habanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malak Wathka. Thaba'ah. Yatazachaaq. Haya. Aisha. Baharatazah. Kha. Haya. Bashamayim. Fananawa. Lacham. Kayawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawathinawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathinawa, Wala'a, Fabianawa, Palasaiwan, Abo, Awashainawa, Manrai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Wala Allah, Wala Thai Parath, Hayawalamya, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh, Tawada, Thanyan, Amen. The Lord's Prayer in English, the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yehoshai, Torah Portion Gen. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Psalms 133, the Lashon Kodash, repeat the Hebrew only. Shayar, Hamawath, Ladawad, Hana, Ma, Tawa, Wama, Nayam, Shabbath, Akim, Gum, Yakad, Kashaman, Hatawa, Ayo, Haraash, Yarad, Ayo, Hazakwan, Zakwan, Haharan, Shayarad, Ayo, Paya, Mandawath Yuwa, Kato, Karumwan, Shayarad, Ayo, Haraya, Tazyawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahweh, Ath, Abriakad, Kayayam, I, Haywalam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahweh, the Wada, the Yad, Amen. Psalms 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, and as a dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there Yahweh commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashai, Torah Yad, Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalms 150, the praise. The book of Psalms, chapter 150, the praise.
Praise ye Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Praise him in the sanctuary.
Hallelujah.
Praise him in the firmament of his power.
Hallelujah.
Praise him for his mighty acts.
Hallelujah.
Praise him according to his excellent greatness.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the sound of the trumpet.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the psaltery and harp.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the timbrel and dance.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the stringed instruments and organs.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the loud cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that hath breath praise ye Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise ye Yahweh. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashai, Torah Yad, Amen.
Amen.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
All praise and all things go out to the prophet Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because truly his mercy endure forever. We humbly come before you, Abba Yahweh. Please hear our prayer and receive our supplication. Throughout for blessing us with the Sabbath day and the Sabbath day in peace, Abba Yahweh. Because we know that the days to come, the end time, where our Sabbath day will not be in peace. Please send a righteous angels to encamp around us. Let all knowledge and wisdom and understanding come out today, Abba Yahweh. Please send a spirit of healing on our brothers that need healing and our sisters that are in need of healing. Send a special healing on our brother. I know he's not here today. He's battling the wiles of Satan, Abba Yahweh. These are the things that we deal with all the time, Abba Yahweh. Send a righteous angel to encamp around our brother and bring him back home to our captain. And of course, our officer, Ahrahyahla, is away, Abba Yahweh. Please send a righteous angel to watch and keep him safe, Abba Yahweh. And as always, our Captain Yahshua, we earnestly pray for him that he's doing well, Abba Yahweh. Bring him back to the fold. All these things we ask and praise in your name, Yahweh, and your Son who came down for the nation of Israel. Hamashiach Yahawashai, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashai, the word of Yad, Amen. Yeshabim. Everyone be seated. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Hope everyone's Shabbat has been in peace so far. We also all are thankful that we have waken up to see another Shabbat. There's a lot of us here in this world, in this walk, that has not been awakened this morning. Right? Praise Yah that we have given life and breath to breathe in our lungs to praise his name. Right? So today's portion is going to start out with Genesis chapter 28 and verse 10, and it ends at 32 and 2. All right, so we're going to go into some scriptures concerning this portion. But as always, we like to start out with the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. Let's open up the word of Yah, giving all understanding. The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 17.
Right.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Hamashiach Yahawashai, giving thanks to the power and the Father by him.
Right. So everything we do, we always start here because, we have to remember everything we do in words come out of our mouth, and any deed that we may do, that we do it all in the name of Christ. I know the world calls him Christ, but we call him Hamashiach Yahawashai. That is the anointed Savior. Right? We make sure we give him his due, his praise, his name is very important, that we call him Hamashiach Yahawashai. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Right? And our Father Yahweh, we call him Abanawa Yahweh, because Abanawa is our Father Yahweh, right? The power. We call him Abanawa, we call him our Father, because why? Because we don't call our Father by his first name. We don't say, good morning, Steve. We say, good morning, Abba. Right? If we call him Abba, we may call him Dad or Father. You know, we address always with the title first, right? Because that is the way that the Most High has brought us up and taught us to be, right? We must show hospitality and a high level of respect for our elders. Everybody understand that? All right. So let's start out with, give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 5. Before we jump into the portion. And we'll jump right into it. The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5.
The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 5.
All right, read that.
Ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day.
Read.
We are not of the night,
Mm-hmm.
nor of darkness.
Right. We are the children of the light. What does the light represent? The light represents what we just spoke about. Hamashiach Yahweh. He is the light. He said, I'm the light of the world, not Michael Jackson. Right? The light also represents the law. We are of the light. We are of the law. Right? When we apply the law, we become what? Illuminated. Right? The people see an aura on us that they don't see on everyone else. Because we are applying the law and the statute commandments, and we have faith in Hamashiach Yahweh. So we are children of the light, not of the dark. We are not of evil and wickedness. Read on.
Verse 6.
Therefore,
let us not sleep as others do.
Right.
But let us watch and be sober.
Right. Let us not sleep. Right. Let's not go back into darkness. Watch. Be sober. Read.
For they that sleep, sleep in the night.
Mm-hmm.
And they that be drunken are drunken in the night.
Right. Read on.
But let us, who are of the day,
Mm-hmm.
be sober.
Be what?
Sober.
Right. Why does it keep mentioning being sober? Right? Because it's very important. Because you know when you're drinking, let's use as it's saying sober. So let's use alcohol. You're drinking. What happens to when you're drinking and you're not sober? Right? Your vision becomes impaired. Your decision making is not on the level. So the Most High says, well, don't be drunken. And he's not talking about with wine. He's talking about with what? With the ideologies and the things of this world. Don't be drunken, but be sober. Watch. Because there are things out there, high levels of evil and principalities coming to attack you. You have to be ready. Read on.
But let us, who are of the day, be sober.
Right.
Putting on the breastplate of faith and love.
Right. We got to put on the what? The breastplate of what? Faith and love. What is faith? Anybody? Radar.
Something is
Hold on, Elder. Radar, what you say?
faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Right. Very good. Very good. Because the Baptist church got that down 100%. You better get it right up in here. Because we pull a lot of scriptures.
Okay.
Right? You got to remember, faith is the substance of things of hope for, the evidence of things not seen. This is very important. That we have faith and love. What's love? Elder, what's love?
Love is something special from God.
Love is special from God. Right? Okay. But what is love according to the scripture? Because a lot of people, you know, somebody brought me some flowers the other day and said they love me. But do they really love me? If I'm sleeping and they go in my wallet and take my money out? No. Right? So this love that they have of understanding today and here and throughout the world, that's a word that's used very loosely. Right? They think love is cookies and cakes and candy and buying them a nice car and stroking their hair. Love is the keeping of the commandments. Go ahead, read that.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 2.
Read.
By this we know that we love the children of the Most High.
Right.
When we love the Most High and keep His commandments.
That's right. When we know we're the children of the Most High, when we love Him and keep His commandments.
For this is the love of the Most High.
Right.
That we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
Right. This is the love of God. That we keep His commandments. That's love. Right? That stuff out there in the street is filthy McNasty. Right? That's an uncooked McDonald's burger. That's not love. Right? a fake pair of Jordans. That's not love. Love has to be governed by the commandments of God. Everybody understand that? You can have feelings for somebody, but those feelings got to be governed by the commandments of God. That is the true meaning of love. Right? Because there's somebody that said that, I'm sure there's many times people say, well, I love you. I'm sure O.J. Simpson loved his wife. Right? Mm-hmm. But somehow she ended up with a throat cut from ear to ear. So I don't know what kind of love that is, but I don't want that kind of love. All right? I need the love that is governed by the commandments of Yah. Okay, so let's go back. Verse 8. 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 8.
But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love.
Right.
And for a helmet, the hope of salvation.
Right, stop right there. He said, for what? For a helmet, the hope of salvation. What is hope? Hope is that you hope you be saved. Your salvation. Right? So we have the hope that we be saved in the end by having that. You putting on that faith and that love and that breastplate and that helmet. That's a lot of protection when you're at war. So if anything comes at you, the wiles of Satan, the battles of Satan, you'll be able to defend yourself. You can't defend yourself if your hand's in your pocket, right? I know a guy one day I was at work. He said, you can't be doing no work if both your hands in your pocket. Right? And that's how Esau looks at us when we at work. If we are up there having a conversation and my hands in my pocket, I ain't getting no work done. So we have what? If you in a battle, if you in a fight with Mike Tyson, what do? If he's coming out of the ring, he got his gloves on, he's ready to fight. Do you put your hands in your pocket? You put your hands up to do what? To defend yourself. So to defend yourself against the wiles of Satan, what? You need to put on faith. You need to put on love. You need to put on that breastplate, that love, that those commandments, the faith in Yahweh. These are the things that you need to battle against the wiles of Satan. Now I went here because we're about to go into the story of a husband and wife, and a lot of times the word love is being used, but it's being used loosely in this world. A lot of people say, well, I love him and I'm going to do whatever I can to keep him, right? But the love that they have for somebody is not governed by the commandments of God, because the commandment must come first, right? Everything else comes after. Okay, so we're going to go into a true marriage of Jacob taking his wife. And this is the beginning of the building of the nation. Remember, a nation makes up of what? Husband, wife, and children. That's a nation. And you see now us here in America and spread throughout the four corners of the earth, we're not a nation because we don't have a father in the home. Most of the time the father, he's gone off. Right? Maybe something happened. Maybe he might have passed away. These things happen, but most of the time that's not the case. He didn't pass away. He left. And he left the woman with the children to raise them. And then now you see what you see now today. The children running wild because there's no structure in the home. Because the father is not there. When the father is there and the law is being applied, things will work. Right? And then the wife will follow the husband because that's her job. And the children will follow the parents. This is something that's very important, and you're going to learn that here in reading this story as we go along. As we go along into the whole book of Genesis. This is the beginning. That's why they call it the beginning. It's the beginning of what? Our nation being built. And built it on a strong foundation. All right, so let's get Genesis 28.
Okay.
Let's get where the portion starts at.
The book of Genesis, chapter 28, and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took off the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep.
Man, stone for his pillow? That's rough right there. Y'all think y'all complain about your bed, the mattress not right? Oh man. You know, my pillow not right. I need a beauty rest. You want to go out and spend $1,000, $1,100 on the bed? This guy took a stone. Check that out. This guy's a soldier for the Most High. Read on that.
And he dreamed,
Mm-hmm.
and behold, a ladder set up on the earth.
Right. Now, here you go. That's where the movie come from. Jacob's Ladder, right? Right. Read on that.
And the top of it reached into heaven.
Uh-huh.
And behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it.
Right. As you can see, now the angels of the Most High, what? They do their traveling. They travel from the earth to the third heaven with the Most High. This is what they do. They go up and they come down. Read.
And behold, Yahweh stood above it,
Mhm.
and said, I am Yahweh, power of Abraham thy father, and the power of Isaac. The land whereof thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed.
Right. So even then, the prophecy of us getting that land was prophesied even during this time. This is the beginning. This is the first covenant that he's making with what? With Isaac to Abraham, to Isaac, passed on to Jacob, and later on passed on to what? Thy seed, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. Read on.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth.
Right. So if you're thinking about the dust of the earth, that's a lie. It's a lot of dust. So we're gonna be many. Read on.
And thou shalt spread abroad to the
Mhm.
west,
Mhm.
and to the east, and to the north,
Mhm.
and to the south.
Right. And in prophecy, what? We're gonna spread through the four corners of this land. Right. Read on.
And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Right. So when we're in our position as rulership in the future prophecy, all the land, all the other nations will be blessed when we come into rulership. Right. What? Let me get a precept real quick. Give me Proverbs 29:2. Right? Because you see right now, we're not in rulership at this point. You know, who's ruling right now is who? Is Esau. He's ruling. All right? So this is the condition that we're in, that we're suffering with.
Ready?
Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
When the righteous are in authority,
Right.
the people rejoice.
Mm-hmm.
But when the wicked beareth rule,
Right. What happened to the people?
the people mourn.
Right. That's why our people are in mourning. We marching. All Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. No justice, no peace. Feed the hungry, feed the homeless. You know, battered women, battered men. We got all these different organizations that we're starting because of the way that we're living today. It's not right according to Yah. Right? So this is the condition because we are in mourning. But when we come in authority, right? When the righteous rule, right? Read it again. Sorry.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right?
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
Right. So when the righteous are in authority, what? The people, they rejoice. Are our people rejoicing? Uh-uh. We're in mourning.
The heathen ain't rejoicing.
Right.
His own people ain't rejoicing.
Right. Even the heathen is even at this point in mourning. Right. The nations are in mourning because they know that the people that rule over us, they're wicked and evil people. Right. And they're out for their own greedy desires and the things that they want of this world. So when we come in authority, this is when the righteousness is going to be upon this earth. When the men are going to sit, 144,000 kings is going to sit in the government, and there'll be one king over them, Mashiach Yahushai, and we're going to rule this earth with righteousness. This day is coming, right? What you got?
Proving the fact that when Israel is ruling the nations.
Go ahead.
Book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 16, starting at 16.
We're going back, 22 and 16.
Come.
Okay.
And said, by myself have I sworn,
Mm-hmm.
that Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
Right.
And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed.
Right.
Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Right. So when we have come back to, the spirit of Yah and obey his voice, and he put us in a position to rule this earth, then the other nations is not going to have a choice. Right? It's either, like the old saying says, it's either get down or lay down. Right? That's the position that they're going to be in. We're going to be in our position, so we already know that the Most High don't play around. Okay? So let's go back. That's a good precept.
The book of Genesis, chapter 28, and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth.
Right.
And thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thy seed, shall all families of the earth be blessed.
Right.
And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee.
Right. So this is the vision when he fell on that deep sleep that the Most High put upon him, put upon Jacob, give him the understanding that, listen, I'm going to give you this place. This place, this prophecy is going to be, you guys are going to be in it. This is before Moses, before any of this stuff, right? That they was going to, the prophecy that they was going to be in the land, the nation. We're going to be a great nation, and we're going to be in our own land, right? So the Most High, he sees this whole thing playing out. We're the ones who don't see it, right? Only thing we see is LeBron James scoring 72 points, right? We don't see the prophecy of us being in our own land, having our own Army, Air Force, Marines, having our God, having the angels even answer to us. We can't even imagine that, right? We're not even on that level, the thought pattern of a regular dude, a regular Jake in the world, right? We got to come back to this understanding of who we are. So this is the prophecy that was given unto Jacob in his vision. Okay, read on. Where you at?
Verse 16.
Okay.
And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, surely the Most High is in this place, and I knew it not.
Right. You can only imagine that he knew that the Most High must be in this place, because now he's seen this ladder going up and down. He's seen the angels coming in and out, and the Most High came and spoke with him and told him the vision and told him the future. Right. A lot of times people go to get their palm read. A lot of times people go and check out the Clio, Call Me Now, and try to get a vision of the future. But the Most High is showing this thing on to Jacob, because he in the spirit of the Lord. Read on that.
Verse 17. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the Most High.
Right.
And this is the gate of heaven.
Right. He saw the gate of heaven in that vision. Read on.
And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel.
Right.
But the name of that city was called Luz at the first.
Right. So it was called at first Luz, but then he renamed it. As you notice, and I'm gonna keep saying it over and over, as we go through certain things in our life, as you see the prophets and the elders in the scriptures, we always named it after something, right? If it be Abraham's well, Jacob's well, maybe we have a well, or something happened, some war went down, right? We named it something, right? Pertaining to what happened. And what it does, why do we do that? Because what it does, it gives us a remembrance of what happened. It's always keep it fresh in our mind, right? Just like, not to go off topic, just like the man that was supposed to build up a house in his brother's house, right? And he didn't build it up, he didn't go with the brother's wife. What happened to him? He became the man that they go and they loose his shoe. So now, every time they come and people see him on the block and they walking down the block, he said, there you go. Everybody's whispering, that's the one loose his shoe. Right? He's the one that didn't build up his brother's house.
He disgraced his family.
Right, he disgraced the family. So that was another reason why we did that. It was a remembrance, so that we remember Bathsheba. We remember Bethel. We remember these places, Jerusalem. We remember because the Most High always wants us to remember. When you read throughout the scriptures, what do he say? Remember, I'm the one that brought you out of Egypt. Right? Not you. And a lot of people think that they can save other people. Well, I'm trying to save this person. You can't save nobody. All you could do is be a light. That's it. All right, read on now.
The book of Genesis, chapter 28 and verse 20.
Right. So he poured the anointed. That cat anointed the stone. He poured the oil on the stone. What do you think is in this bottle? Anointing oil, right? Read on.
And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If the Most High be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat, and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Yahweh be my power. And this stone, which I have set for a pillar, shall be the Most High's house. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give thee 10th unto thee.
Right. And you see that? He automatically gave the credit to the Most High. He anointed the stone, saying that this is going to be the stone, is going to be the one that's going to build the altar to the Most High. This stone right here, I'm going to start with this one. And what did he do? He said, when I get there and I have my substance, what I'm going to do? I'm going to give my 10th. Always paying dues to the Most High. So you see, our forefathers was not exempt from paying their dues. Everybody understand that? All right? All right, we're going to the 29th chapter.
Book of Genesis, chapter 29 and verse 1.
Read.
Then Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth.
Right.
And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and gathered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth of this place.
Why are they putting a stone on the well's mouth? Anybody know?
Some animals fall in.
Right. Right. Just keep people or animals, anything from getting inside the stone. Because remember, the well, that well is water coming up out, and we use that water, bathe, drink, and do everything with. It's fresh water. Right? So to keep it fresh, to keep it clean. So they keep a stone on it, and it's a very heavy stone. When they roll it, I don't know if you've ever seen one like that, but like a roller, it kind of rolls across and it sits over the well, right? And this is what they did throughout the scriptures. They always had something over the mouth of the well.
Like a sewer lid.
Right, like the sewer, right. Like the lid on the sewer, right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him.
Right.
And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep.
Right.
And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep.
Right, so they watered everything, all the sheep and everything all at one time. They didn't do anything separate, right? Go ahead.
And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Verse 11. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept.
Look at that. So you see now, when she came, he was like, oh man, look at that right there. He moved the well, moved the stone out the way. He said, damn. Check out. Yeah. I got you, baby.
All right.
I got man, when a woman come around, forget about it. You get crazy, right? So, Jacob said he seen that, and then she threw the kiss upon him, greeted him, gave him the kiss, hey, shalom, right? And he said he wept, Yeah, he got a little tear in his eye. He said, damn, wow. Go ahead, huh?
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things.
Right, so what are they doing now? They trading stories back and forth, because this thing was not something that was just so happened, right? This thing was talked about before Jacob, okay? They want to make sure that, remember, when you getting together with a husband and wife during this time, they made sure that this thing went down, right? They want to make sure you get the right woman. That's why Abraham told a servant what? When he told a servant, make sure my son don't take the woman of the Canaanites, right? Like, not to jump up the story, but I put a little text inside their WhatsApp, the family WhatsApp, about the Canaanite woman that killed the Israelite woman. You seen that? The one that jumped? Yeah, the one that jumped out of the car, shot her in the head and killed her. Then she flew off to Jacksonville. These kind of moves, you're moving like a Canaanite. Some people of another nation. You are God chosen people. You should not be going out trying to kill each other like that, right? But we know in history this is how our people were. We did battle with one another. We killed one another. Unfortunately, this is what it is. But you see here, they went in the house. They traded stories. They spoke about, my mother, my father, this and that. And now he's all happy now. They show good hospitality to him. They let him in the house, sit down. I'm sure they gave him bread and water. That's a popular thing during this time. All right, read on.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Laban said to him,
right?
Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him in the space of a month.
Right, so they spoke, we family, right? We close, we kindred. Okay? All right. Shabbat shalom. All right, read on.
And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother,
Mm-hmm.
shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
Right.
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah.
Right. The name of the elder was Leah. Remember that. Read.
And the name of the younger was Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Leah was tender-eyed.
Right.
But Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Right. So Leah was tender-eyed. I don't know what people's idea of tender-eye. We know what beautiful is, but the tender-eye meaning that he looked at her and she was nice to look upon. You know what I mean? And Rachel was somebody that was her beauty was high in value. You know what I mean? You look at her and everybody will say, wow, this woman, she stands out above all the rest. Right? Read on.
And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy daughter. And Laban said,
Read that again one more time. 18.
Verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter.
Right, the younger daughter. Right, read on.
And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel.
Right.
And they seemed unto him but a few days.
Right.
For he loved Salakia, for the love he had to her.
Right. So he said he served the bond 7 years. Our people can't even wait 7 hours to get the woman, right?
And it was like nothing to him.
Right. He said it was like nothing.
A few days.
A few days. Because you can imagine in 7 years, he got to know her, he spoke with her, seen her around. Hey, how you doing? They went, watered the sheep, did the work in the house. And then when he saw her, she probably went her way, and then he went his way to do his work. And he stayed in his quarters, she stayed in her quarters. So he still built a relationship with the woman over 7 years. He knew from the time he saw her, he loved that woman. He wanted to be with her, and she was beautiful. So he's attracted to her. He wanted to take her, but he knew he had to pay the dowry, right? And he knew he didn't have the money to pay the dowry. So what he did, he worked it off with these wages. Okay? So this is how the marriage started between the two. Okay? Now he served them 7 years to get that woman. Okay? Read on now.
Verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife,
Right?
for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
He said, yeah, give me the woman now. I mean, I waited 7 years. It's about this time. You know, I need to take my woman and officially make this woman my wife.
I waited long enough.
Yeah, I waited long enough. 7 years is a lot of time. Right? Read on.
Verse 22. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast.
They did what?
Made a feast.
Right. So what they did, they prepared a marriage. Right? They prepared a marriage. They got together, they cooked some food. People came together, the men, the women, the people in the town. They all got together to come for this marriage. Read on.
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in unto her.
Right.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah's his maid. Salakia. Verse 24.
Uh-huh.
And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid.
Right. So now, some went wrong here. Yeah. Somebody got, as Benjamin would say, a 649, right? Because he was going for Rachel, and then Laban did the switch on him, and gave him Leah. Right? I don't want to give it away because he's going to say why he did that. But you see here, it said Laban gave on to his daughter, right? After he gave, it came to pass in the evening that he had took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in on to her. Obviously, at this point, the feast was really good, right? We know that. And the scriptures say, the wine and women don't mix, right? So he got the wine, he got the drink on, he's feeling good. He went into the quarters, he's waiting for his wife to come in there, and Laban sent the wife in there. Now, he's supposed to have got Rachel, which was the younger one, but he sent her Leah, the tender-eyed one. So he went in onto her, she became his wife. But then after that, Laban blessed Leah with Zilpah, right? Which is, they said, is a handmaid for her. So this handmaid is the woman that's going to be with Leah to help her in the home with whatever she needs. Everybody understand that? Whatever she needs, that's what Zilpah is there for. Her hair need to be done. She need to fix her hair. She need to go outside and feed the sheep. Zilpah will go take care of that sheep for her. Whatever Leah needs, that's what Zilpah is there for. Everybody understand that? All right, I'm going to make sure everybody stay with me. Okay, read on now.
Verse 25.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me?
Right.
Did not I serve thee for Rachel?
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
Right, so this now you got questions like, wait a minute now. The deal was that I take Rachel. But in the middle of the night, you slipped in Leah, and now I've taken her, and now she's my wife, but what happened to Rachel? What is this thing you do to me? Right? Read on.
And Laban said, It must not be done in our country,
right,
to give the younger before the firstborn.
Right. He said, in his country, they should not give the younger before the firstborn. Right? Which makes a lot of sense when you look at things, because why? Because if you're a father and you have two daughters, an older and a younger one, if you give away the younger daughter first, then you have the older daughter sitting there. Who's going to take her? Right. Eventually, she'll start to grow to a certain age, and then she's going to age out, and then after a while, you're going to be sitting there with a 40-year-old virgin. You know what I mean? So you don't want that. You want to make sure you do things in order. You want to give the elder daughter first, then you give the younger daughter. Everybody understand that?
Obviously, supplanting runs in the family.
Right.
Because Laban knows what he's trying to do.
Right. Yeah. He supplanted him, And Jacob supplanted the birthright, so it was only right for him to get that back. Right?
Right, and you know, it was Laban's sister that, you know,
That's right.
the angel came to and she cooked
That's
up the
right.
scheme.
That's it.
You know?
That's it. Came to that woman, and woman went and told Jacob, you better get that birthright, and you're going to be in trouble. So now at this point, he desired to be with Rachel, and he still wants her, but now he has Leah, and he has, you know, and now he has his wife. He has a wife now. So let's see what's going to happen now.
Verse 27. Fulfill her week.
For do what?
Fulfill her week.
So it says, fulfill her week. Read.
And we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
Right. So now, being that this thing went down like this, right, and he did the switcheroo, so Laban said, listen, this is what you do. Take Leah and go enjoy her. That's your wife now. You have a wife. She's tender eyes. She's nice to look at. Take her and enjoy her week. Meaning that, like what they say today, honeymoon. Take her on the honeymoon. Enjoy her for the whole week. That's your woman. Do whatever you want to do with her. That's your business. Right? And then after the week is fulfilled, I'll give you Rachel. Right? So, you know, this is what he had to do first. It wasn't like a 2-for-1. Everybody just get married all together and we all, you know, become one happy family. It doesn't work like that. So he wanted to make sure that he gave Leah her correct time to cheer her up. You know, to spend that time with her. Go out and spend with each other and have that, what they call today, I don't like to use the word honeymoon, but that's what they call it today. Right? And spend that time with her, and then after you can have Rachel. Okay? Read on.
Verse 28. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also.
Right, so then he gave Rachel the daughter, the wife. So he got the one that he was really desiring to have. So now he has both of them. Right? And this is through the Spirit of the Lord. The Lord had allowed this man to take these wives. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 29. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid.
Right. So now, she now has a help for her. Because Rachel now, she's going to be the wife to Jacob. And now she's going to need help. Right? A lot of times I think, you know, sometimes when you bring it to layman's terms today, a lot of times the women of today think that they can do it all by themselves. It's not easy. You know, you have to be there. Imagine, I mean, right now, these women are not working. And even then, they needed another woman in the house. And they would not, like, physically have to go out and put in work for Esau. Get up 7 o'clock in the morning, go out, go work a 9 to 5, and then come home and serve the man. These women didn't have to do that. And they still needed help. So what do you think is going to happen today? You actually have to go out and put in 40 hours a week for Esau. And how many hours are you going to put in for your husband? Right? Think about that. So we don't think about these things because, you know, they've been thinking, oh, this is biblical time. They needed to do that. You know, we come up with all these excuses on why he needed to take these women. He needed to take these women because the Most High wanted him to have these women. Period. Forget about all these excuses. The Most High wanted him to have this. This idea of having more than one wife came from us. We are the only nation that took these wives like this, right? The other nations started to do it after us, but we did it. Esau wanted to lay with everybody. He didn't care who it was, right? But we cared who we lay with because when we lay with somebody, that is our wife for life. Everybody understand that? We didn't just sleep around. We took these women, and these women are going to be our wife. Ain't no regular Jake in the world, a damn June bug, and Day and them is going to take on more than one wife. They don't take on wives. They take on jump off, right? Little side piece. We don't do side pieces, man. That is wicked and that's evil. Everybody understand that, right? So Jacob took the woman, and they had help. They had the handmaids that helped them with what? They have a lot of work to do for him, work with him, helping him out, and whatever he needs to be done. Everybody understand that? All right, read on.
Verse 30. And he went in also unto Rachel.
Okay.
And he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years.
Right, so altogether Jacob served 14 years. Everybody understand that? To get these 2 wives. He served 14 years. But in the first 7 years, he got the 2 wives. Everybody caught that, right? The first 7 years, because after he fulfilled the week with Leah, then right after that, he gave him Rachel. But he still had to work those 7 years with Rachel. Okay, so altogether, he put in the 14 years. He put in work, working for Laban. Whatever he had, Laban had him doing. Right? So he took these wives. Now he has both the daughters. Read on.
Verse 31.
And
when the Most High saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
Right. So the Most High seen that what? That Jacob had an eye for Rachel. You know, he had like he said, he loved him. He loved her more. He favored her. Right. He favored her more. Right. But you know, in this world, when you do that and you favor one than the other, then a spirit of jealousy comes between the two. And this can be a very big issue, right? So what the Most High do? Boy, Most High have a funny sense of humor, right? He go and get Leah to have the first child, right? To do what? To cause more jealousy between the women, right? Because you put that spirit out there. As a man, you did that. Right? You shouldn't have, like, you know, if you have favor, that let that be something that be in you, not come out of you. Everybody understand that? Okay. All right? You got to be careful with that because, you know, women, scriptures talk about women being jealous of another woman. That's not supposed to be so. Okay? Hold that real quick. Being that we talking about wives and getting women, you know, we're not talking about just getting woman. We're talking about getting a wife. Right? So a wife is different from a woman. A woman is just a woman of the night. We don't grab women of the night. We grab women of the day. Everybody understand that? That's why I went to that scripture that we are of the light and not of the day. So these are the things that we need to think about. Give me Exodus chapter 22 verse 16. Before we finish this chapter, before we start conceiving. Let's see what happens when you get this wife. 22:16.
Okay. Book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid,
right,
that is not betrothed.
So the woman is not betrothed. What does betrothed mean? No, not you, Radar. You can't answer all the questions. Aharon, what say you? Run. Well, I'm asking you. I ain't asking him. I'm asking you. Betrothed. Right. So betrothed meaning that your promise, you in a pre-engagement, you're getting ready to be the wife to a husband. Everybody understand that? All right. Go ahead.
Exodus 22 verse 16. And if a man entice a maid,
right,
that is not betrothed, and lie with her,
right,
he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Right. So you see what happened with Jacob. He wasn't the wedding and the feast was for him to marry Rachel. But what happened? The feast was there and everything was going down, and then he woke up, he got caught, you know. Laban gave him a 649, right? And he wound up having Leah. Did he say, this ain't my wife? No. Because he enticed her, he got into bed with her, he would have intimacy. I'm going to use the right word because it's the Shabbat. They'd be intimate with each other, and they had the moment, and what? She became what? His wife. So he didn't throw her away. He didn't say, well, you know, I'm not dealing with her no more. You're supposed to give me Rachel. I wanted this one. I don't want this one. After you done test drive the car and drove the car all around, now you want to give it back? No. So what's going to happen to it? Become certified pre-owned? What we got going on here? See, a lot of times people in this world, they think that, you know what, I can test drive the car, I can drive, let me get in this joker and check it out, you know, and drive around the block and show my friends. And now, after you do that, you decide you don't want it no more. The woman's not like a car, man. You lay with that woman, she's your wife. Everybody understand that? Right? It says, if you entice the maid, right, and she's not betrothed, thou shalt surely endow her to be his wife. That's why he worked the 7 years. It was for Rachel, but it wound up, what happened? It wound up being for the woman that he got, Leah. So what he did, he fulfilled her week, Leah, and then he got with Rachel, right? After that week, he got with her, and she became his wife. He went in on to her, and what he did, served 7 more years, because he had to pay that what? That dowry. Who else paid the dowry before this? Not you, Radon. Before this marriage. It was a marriage before this one, and the dowry was paid. When Isaac got with Rebekah, who paid the dowry? It was Abraham. Abraham gave the servant gold and silver. And he said, what? When you find that woman for my son, not of the Canaanites, right? When you find that woman, what do? You make sure that you take care of her and the family. And he paid the dowry for Rebekah. And Isaac took Rebekah. Everybody understand that? So when you take the woman, you can't take the woman and then just don't give nothing to the father. Right? You need to work out some sort of agreement with the father, with some sort of dowry. Everybody understand that? Can't just take the one. See, y'all want the milk, and then y'all want the milk for free, right? As they say, but you don't want to take the cow. Right? You want to drink some of the milk, but you don't want the cow. Meaning what? You don't want the responsibility of dealing with the cow. Feeding him, Shalom. Taking care of him. Right? This is our responsibility as Israel, man. When we take a wife, that's our wife. To the end. I don't care if she wound up in a wheelchair, drooling out the mouth, and you pushing her to the doctor's appointment. Still your wife. Right? All the way into the end. So when you get this wife in the beginning, you entice her, you take her, you're supposed to pay the dowry. That's why I went here, because you notice that Jacob paid the dowry for both those women by working those 14 years. That's a long time to put in that's a lot of work. Imagine if you bring it to layman's terms today and you're working 7 years on your job. And let's say, hey, they're paying you $50,000 a year. 7 years you're making $50,000? And you got to pay back some money towards you know, the person that's paying you that $50,000 for the year. You paid a lot of money for that dowry for those women. Right? So this is what Jacob did. That was his way of paying the dowry. Okay? So it says, and if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, she not promised nobody, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Read 17.
The book of Exodus chapter 22 verse 17.
Read.
If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him,
right,
he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Right. So if her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Right? So if the father see you brought some dude home, this is my baby, this must be my husband, and he look like Lil Wayne on steroids, you're gonna be looking like, what? Give me my money and get rid of this Negro, right? Put him out. Right? This is not going down. I'm gonna disannul this marriage. All right? I'm not gonna approve of the marriage, because the approval of the marriage comes from the father. A lot of times women bring the guy home and say, "Hey, here you go. This is gonna be my man." And what I'm supposed to just eat that up because we're supposed to accept it? No, if we don't accept it, then we utterly refuse it, then he need to go about his business. Right? So here he's supposed to say what? He said, pay the money according to the dowry of virgins, because at this point he already took the woman already. But just because you take the woman, that don't mean the woman's going to be yours. You get into bed with that woman, and the father don't like this guy, get on out of here. Give me my money and get out. We don't need you around. Right? Then we'll do whatever we got to do to bless it, and then we'll look for another husband for that's going to take her. Everybody understand that? All right? So, in your search for a wife, right, you would need to think about the procedure that you need to go through before you take her. This is something that's very important. Everybody understand that? Give me Matthews now, 19:3. Let's go with what Yahushua said.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
Right. Can you put away your wife for every cause? If your wife become a crackhead, can you put her away? If your wife start running up the credit card bills, can you put her away? Can you put her away because she don't make your pancakes fluffy? These things happen, man. Can you put her away because she being wicked and she not listening? No. Right? Read on. Let's see why. Let's see what's going on here.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And he answered and said unto them,
Right.
Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
Uh-huh.
And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
Right. So he started from the beginning. Yahushua, you see, Yahushua was a walking Torah. You couldn't pull the wool over his eyes. He go right straight from the beginning. That cat went straight to Genesis. He said, yo, listen, didn't you read from the beginning? When Adam was made, that's what you think he's talking about. He's going back to Adam. Right? When Adam was made, he put together what? Eve, male and female. And them two supposed to be what? In one flesh, meaning what? On one accord? Didn't you read that? You ain't understood that? Read.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Read.
What therefore the Most High hath joined together, let not man put asunder.
Right. Don't let man put us under. Don't let man separate what the Most High have joined together. The Most High created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, or Mary and Jane. Right? Don't do that, because the curse gonna fall upon you. This is an evil thing that's happening in the world today. We talk about marriage, true marriage. You take the woman is your wife. Now it's up to you. If you want to take a scorpion, then be my guest. You like getting bit, right? But we don't want to take a wicked woman. Everybody understand that, right? We want to take a woman that's righteous, woman that's going to serve Yah, a woman that's going to listen to you. It's very important. Read on.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
They say unto him,
What did they say unto him?
Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement,
Mm-hmm.
and to put her away?
Right. Why did Moses give this? Why did he make this divorce? Read. He gonna tell you why.
He saith unto them,
What Yahushua said?
Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives.
Right.
But from the beginning it was not so.
Right. In the beginning, you couldn't put away your wife. You think Adam could put away Eve? La-uh. You think Isaac could put away Rebecca? No. In the beginning, it was not so. But what? He said he had to give them this bill of divorcement because the hardness of their heart. What does it mean when your heart is hard? Anybody? Eliasaph, yes. Stubborn, right. Rebellious, wicked. Because you being so wicked, the Most High gave Moses permission, man, to give them this paper. So that way, when it come time to divorce this woman, they need to go ahead and divorce the woman. Because if not, let me tell you what's going to happen. It's the same thing that happened not too many years ago. True story. Look it up. You can Google it. In certain places in here in America, and I think in New York also too, the women, the Jewish women, were having the men killed.
Hiring hitmen.
Right. They were hiring hitmen to kill the husband because they know that the only way they can get a new husband if that first one is dead. Right? So that's the reason why Moses was given that understanding of the bill of divorcement, because he needed to give what? That paper to them for the hardness and the wickedness of their heart. Okay? Read on.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
For what?
For fornication.
Fornication. What is fornication? Everybody except Radon. What you say?
Adultery.
Adultery?
Yeah.
That is a form of fornication. But what is fornication? That is another form. That is an attribute of fornication. What else? What is fornication? Aaron? No, absolutely not. It is fornication, but what is this fornication that he's talking about? Because you can't put your wife away if she lusts for another man or she lusts for something. She just desiring to have it. That don't mean she can have it. Lust, you know, what is lust, by the way? That's another topic, but what is lust? Put your hand down, Radar. Unless you're stretching it. What is lust? Lust is something that you're designed to have that you cannot have. Alright? Man is made to have, he can have as many wives as he wants. Now, if you're going to have if you're a man, if you're going to have another man, that's lust. Because that's something that you should not have. Everybody understand that? Everybody got what I'm saying? Desiring something you cannot have or not supposed to have, that is lust. Alright? So a lot of times people read lust in the scriptures, they think it's some other feeling or something like that. No. It's not that. Desiring something you cannot have. That's why he said, do not covet the man's wife. What it means to covet the wife? Lust for her. Because why? You cannot have his wife because his wife belongs to him. So you got to understand what these words mean. So a lot of times people, that's another word that's so broad out there, lust, that they use it so loosely. I know he put something up there. I know, it's great. Right? So, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. What is fornication? An unlawful sexual act. That's what it is. Unlawful sexual act. Now there is another fornication also too, which is called the spiritual fornication. Now if you come home and your wife got Buddha up on the table and she got beads all over her neck and she shaved her head and she talking about whatever his name be blessed, then you might have a problem there. You might be in a position to give her that bill of divorcement.
Somebody bad is getting packed.
Somebody got to go. Or bun fire gonna be up in this house, as Benjamin would say. Bun this thing down. Right? So the fornication that we're dealing with here is the unlawful sexual act, or whether it be spiritual. Read on.
Verse 9.
And
I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife,
Mhm.
except it be for fornication,
Right.
and shall marry another, committeth adultery.
Right.
And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery.
You see what's going on here? So now you put the woman away because, for your own lust, for your own feelings. She ain't make the pancakes fluffy enough. She ain't make the eggs. She don't make the bed when she get out of it. I heard everything, man. She don't cook. She can't cook. What kind of woman is this? She can't cook. Right? She burn water. She burn up the rice. Yeah.
Right.
So I need to get rid of this chick and I need to get me a new wife. You know what I mean? So you decide you get you a new wife, but you know what you do? When that wife leaves and she get with another man, she commit adultery.
The Most High don't recognize that.
That's right.
Y'all still married as far as he's concerned.
That's right. All right, and then you force her to do that, and then now that's going to fall on you when you get with somebody. You're going to be committing adultery because you didn't rightfully give her the bill of divorcement, right? And it wasn't recognized as a unlawful sexual act. Redada, is that a question?
Wait, because yes.
Go ahead.
So because they didn't lawfully give her a bill of divorcement, and by lawfully that means only divorce her if she commits fornication. Because they didn't divorce her for that reason, then if somebody else marries her, they commit adultery because she's still married because she didn't.
That's right. That's right. The sin falls on you and her. Right? So these are the see, a lot of times people don't think about this. Right? They just say, well, I don't want that woman no more, and hey, whatever. I'm out with the old and with the new. I'm giving me a new honey. Or they leave an older woman and get a younger woman. Like that's gonna help. Right? So they wind up what? Committing adultery. Now you got a bill of divorcement. Is there a bill of marriage? No, I don't think so. Go down to the court, get the license. Let's see. Let's look in the scriptures. Let's see if is there a paper for marriage. Give me what I had down. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Give me Tobit. 7:13. You can start at 8. What I got here? 7. You start at 8. And your Apocrypha. You have the Apocrypha?
Start at 8.
The book of Tobit. Yeah.
All right. The book of Tobit, chapter 7, verse 8.
Chapter 7, verse 8.
And likewise, Edna his wife, and Sarah his daughter wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully. And after that, they had killed a ram of the flock.
Okay.
They set store of the meat on the table. Then said Tobias to Raphael, Brother Azarias, speak of those things of which thou didst talk in the way, and let his business be dispatched.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9.
Right.
So he communicated the matter with Raguel, and Raguel said to Tobias, Eat and drink and make merry.
Okay.
For it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter.
Right.
Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth.
Read on.
I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died. That night they came in unto her. Nevertheless, for the present be merry. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another.
Right. So as Tobias is making sure he's getting this covenant sealed before he deal with the woman. He's going through the proper channels as the scriptures tell you to do, to go to the Father. Right? Read on.
And Raguel said, Then take her from henceforth, according to the manner, for thou art her cousin.
Right.
And she is thine. And the merciful power give you good success in all things.
Read on.
And he called his daughter Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And she came to her father.
Right.
And he took her by the hand and gave her to wife to Tobias.
Right.
Saying, Behold, make her after the law of Moses. Salakia. Salakia. Take her after the law of Moses.
Take her after the law of Moses, right?
And lead her away to thy father.
Right.
And he blessed them.
And he blessed them.
And he called Edna his wife. And took paper.
And took what?
Paper.
Bread.
Paper.
Candy.
Paper.
Turkey.
Paper.
He took a piece of paper, read.
And did write an instrument of covenants and sealed it.
You see that? They took a paper and an instrument and a covenant. They wrote the marriage down, the agreement, the vows they have within one another. And they did what? And they sealed it. There is a bill of marriage and there is a bill of divorce. Everybody understand that? All right? Yeah, this is where you think Esau get it from. But he charged you $50 to get the license. You know what I mean? Or whatever, how much it is. I don't know how much it is. Right? He charged you because he's making money out of it. Why do you think they also legalized this same-sex marriage? That was also a strategy move also to get money. Because now, when you got the same sex get married, they also have to go to the court also to pay for the same license that you're getting. So why is that license and your license the same license? What kind of license you dealing with? When you take a wife here at LOZ, we got our own paper. So you go through the list of things that's on there and follow the instructions on there. Everybody understand that? Right? Not the instructions that they tell you on the license when you go down to the courthouse. Because those instructions are not quoting the Torah. Because if it was, why would they have Adam and Steve get married and Mary and Jane? Huh? Right. So these are the things we need to consider. So there is a bill of marriage and there is a bill of divorce. Everybody understand that? Right? And fornication, if the wife is going out there and she's sleeping with another guy and she's running the town, painting the town red and left you home with the children and you up there crying in the house and you calling the elders, hey, then she left me, and they driving around on Facebook with a new car and they're on a boat. And this is I said, well, you know, I seen the pictures, I seen the video, write up the letter, let me put the seal on it and seal the deal. That's not your wife no more. When she come back to the house, her clothes will be outside the door. All right? We have to remember, we have to go according to what is written. Okay? So just to get you an understanding of what the marriage is, how Jacob took these women. Well, he took Leah first, right? But he didn't leave her. And he was tricked to taking her. Even though it was a trick, the brother gave him a 649, he still kept the woman. He still dealt with her, even though, you know, he felt like he was done wrong. He'd been beguiled. But he still dealt with her as his wife. And what he did, he fulfilled her week. Meaning they went on that honeymoon and they spent that time together to cheer her up. They were intimate. They did what husband and wife do. Let's read what husband and wife do. Give me Hebrews now, 13 verse 4.
Book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
Right. Marriage is honorable and the bed undefiled. But what?
But whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High will judge.
Right. Marriage is honorable, man. And the bed is undefiled. What you're doing in the bedroom with your wife behind closed doors, that's between you and her. Everybody understand that? But whoremongers, you out there, you just jumping around to every woman, right? Whoremongers, right? You're going to be judged. And adulterers, you dealing with another man's wife, you're going to be judged. Everybody understand that? So that's a part of marriage. Part of marriage is what? Man and a woman coming together, consummating the marriage. That's a part of marriage. Everybody understand that? So Jacob took Leah, and he didn't know he was taking Leah. He got tricked. But anyway, he fulfilled her week. He took Rachel. And he worked 7 more years to pay what? His dowry to the woman. I mean to the husband, to the father. He made sure he paid his part to the father. And he worked those other 7 years. So he worked 14 years for both of these women. And both of these women came with handmaids. What's a handmaid? It's a woman at a lower state that will come and she's a man handmaid is a helper onto the woman. Everybody understand that? All right. Let's go back.
Book of Genesis, chapter
Let's go.
29.
Yeah. Let's go
Verse
back
31.
to let's go back to Genesis, because now you realize that you can't just jump in the bed talking about, yo, this is my woman. This is my wife. You might jump in the bed with a scorpion and get bit. Right? So that's why we say it's very important that you go through counsel, and we have a paper that both of you sign, and we do the marriage here. Right here in this room, we could do it. Right? And we put the stamp on it. Once you notarize that letter, it's honored in the courts. We just is not taking their license and their garbage. Right? Because they telling you a whole bunch of stuff that is not according to Torah. Okay? All right. Let's pick it back up where we left off at. That was Exodus.
Book of Genesis.
Genesis
29, verse 31.
31. Okay, let's finish up this chapter.
And when the Most High saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, and Rachel was barren. Verse 32. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, surely Yahweh hath looked upon my affliction.
Right.
Now therefore my husband will love me.
So now Leah is feeling the way that what? The husband don't love her because now he's favoring Rachel. Okay? So the Most High blessed her and said, you know what? I'm going to call him Reuben. Right? I wish I had the names of these. I should have wrote down the names and the meaning of this, of the tribes. So Reuben, right? She called him Reuben, which is what? He is the firstborn. Right? He's the firstborn of Jacob, which is very important. The firstborn is the one that gets the heir of everything. Everybody understand that? Yeah. Okay. Read on.
Verse 33. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, because Yahweh hath heard I was hated, he hath therefore given me the son also. And she called his name Simeon.
Right, Shema one, right? So she's giving Leah, man, all the blessings. Leah is receiving the blessings right now. At this point, she's being faithful to her husband. She's being honest with her husband. She's not being, being tricky and doing certain things behind his back. She's being a loving wife, but she wants to know, why is she not loved as much as Rachel? But she's feeling she's being loved more by the Most High. The Most High is showing her love by giving her these children. Now she has 2 children. How many Rachel have?
0.
She has a donut. Nothing. All right? Read on.
And she conceived again.
What? Again?
She conceived again.
Boy, they moving quickly around here. You know that this is the spirit of the northern tribe, because when you look at Reuben today and Simeon, the Shemai ones, them guys, they don't play around, man. Them guys from Dominican Republic, they don't play around. They will load up real quick. You see the wife pregnant, she had a baby, she pushing the carriage and the stomach is way out there again. You're like, man, damn, she just dropped one. About to have another one? Right? That's the spirit, man. That's how they roll, man. That's how the northern tribe is. Read on.
And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi.
Levi, which means what? She just said it. What's Levi mean? She's joined to the Most High. Right? Doesn't Levi mean joined to the Most High? Yeah. He said, I know now he gonna be good now because, hey, I got Levi now. You know what I mean? Right? She had that 3rd son. He got 3 sons. Now, a man who have children and he don't have no sons, that's what he desires to have. He want that son, right? We get that boy, he get him in the gym and get him swole, get him boxing, get him running, playing football, doing all kinds of things. Get him swolled up, you know what I mean? You want to get that boy out there. Because as man, we want to get the boy, we want to make him a man. Right? And then the woman, she get the girl, she doing her hair, and they get the girl stuff. That's great, that's wonderful. But she got 3 sons right now. What Rachel got? Rachel, what she got? Donut. Right? Why? What's going on with Rachel? She's beautiful, she's highly favored. Let's see. We're going to read on. I'm not going to give it away. We're going into chapter, no, I'm sorry, last verse, 35.
Verse 35.
Right.
And she conceived again.
Uh-huh.
And bare a son.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, now will I praise Yahweh.
Right.
Therefore she called his name Judah.
Look at this guy right here, stand up. Let's go all this guy. He's a Judite now, right? So you know Judah's coming, a roaring lion, a conquering lion of Judah. Same tribe Yahushua come out of, right? So you know already, he said, I got 4 boys right now. He ready. He can come play with these boys anytime. He about to have a starting 5 right now. He can start up a team. Right, the NBA, he ready to go. He got his point guard, he got his shooting guard, he got his center, power forward, small forward. He ready to lock and load right now. Right? So Jacob, he having these sons, but what's happening now? Leah is trying to get his attention to get him to love her more. Read on that. We're going to chapter 30.
So let me finish 35.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Therefore, she called his name Judah
Uh-huh.
and left bearing.
And she left what? Bearing. Okay.
Chapter 30.
Uh-huh.
And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob,
What she said?
give me children or else I die.
Oh, so now she done. I mean, come on. Is it that serious that she say, "Give me children because I'm gonna die now"? She really gonna die?
That show you the difference between the two.
Right.
Because Leah wanted children. Leah besought the Most High.
Right.
Rachel starting drama.
Yeah.
She running up on Jacob like, give me children.
Right.
Like it's his fault.
Right.
Right? Obviously his stuff worked. Right?
Obviously, whatever he's using is working. Right. So, at this point, yeah, of course, you see Leah. She's tender-eyed. She was more diligent, to the Most High, praying to the Most High, obedient, listening to Him, and what? The Most High is blessing her with these children. But as soon as Rachel see all these children popping out, you could imagine she's up there. She's jealous. She went to Jacob and demand him to give her children. Who's the boss here? Who's running this thing?
All right, nothing's her fault.
Right. Who's running this thing? Let's look at that.
No accountability.
Because you come to the man and speak to him that way. This is your husband. This is your Lord, as they would say. Right? Like Sarah called Abraham Lord. This is your ruler. And you come up to your ruler and say, yo, give me some children. Do you go to your boss and tell him, say, listen, man, I know you're paying me $20 an hour, but I need $25 an hour. You need to give me my money. Right? You be coming home, walking through the door with Kleenex on, wiping your eye. Babe, I asked for a raise, but he didn't give it to me. Fired me. Are you going to be able to pay the mortgage? Well, how did you ask him? I demanded it from him. Oh, yeah? Well, we got an old saying, you can get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar, right? So be mindful how you ask for things. But you see the spirit of Rachel right away. How demanding she was and not taking accountability that, maybe it's something going on with her.
Right.
Why she couldn't have these children.
Because scripture said the Lord made her barren.
Right. Yeah, the scripture, the Most High made her barren. Period. Right? All right. Read on.
Verse 2. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in the Most High stead?
Right.
Who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
Right. So Jacob turned around and said, well, you demanding a child from me. Am I the Most High? I did my part. You know what I mean? What you got going on? What spirit are you rolling with now? So he's in a little battle right now with Rachel. Read on.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
Right. So now she's at this point that she's gotten so desperate now that Leah had, how many sons?
4.
How many sons we up to?
4.
4. We up to 4 sons. How many Rachel have? Donut. So now she has her help now, and she's looking at the help like, Well, something must be wrong. At this point, she's taking accountability, saying, something must be wrong with me.
It's me. Yeah.
Let me go to my help over here and let me see if she can help me out and see if she'll have a baby by my husband. Right? But now, okay now, and before we go any further, remember the law that we read. What was the law? When you lay with the woman becomes what?
Wife.
Your what?
Wife.
Your who?
Wife.
Jump off.
Wife.
Side chick.
Wife.
Little piece.
Wife.
Mistress.
Wife.
No, see? Yeah, got you right there. Look at him. Yeah, it all depends, right? Right, there you go. You're paying attention. That's good. So you got to remember, you can't just lay down with some woman and be like, yeah, you're going to be my wife and, we're going to work things out. And she wind up being a lunatic, all right? You go outside, your tire's flat, and your window's broken. You have a scorpion, and you didn't go through no counsel, you didn't go through the proper channels to get this wife. Everybody understand that? All right? So now, he got Rachel, and Rachel is what? To Jacob. What's her status? Rachel is what? His wife, right? But what's her status in the home? I just said it. She's the mistress, right? We brought it up last week about being a mistress. And the mistress is what?
She's the head wife.
She's the head wife. That means what? What about Bilhah? What does that make her? No. The handmaid, but what's another name for her? We talked about it last week. Stay with me. Yes, Shamshawan. There you go. You better pull out something. I don't see no pen and paper out. You better start writing this stuff down. I ain't making this stuff up. All right? She is the concubine. Bilhah. So she said, because why? The mistress has power over the concubine. Bilhah. Right? Bilhah is supposed to obey the mistress, the head woman of the house. So that's why when she told Jacob, take her. She could do that. What the Bilhah gonna say? You ain't taking me. Shoot, that's your husband. In this world, that'll happen. Shoot. You ain't going nowhere. You with me. Right? It will be a big argument. But here in the scriptures, she said, listen, take the woman, man. Because I don't have no women, I don't have no children in this house. And she is the mistress, she's the head woman, so she has control over that woman, and she said, yo, take her. And she's gonna go with him. Everybody understand that? All right, let's read on. Stay with me.
Women were so,
Bradard, yes.
I was saying, women were so humble and sweet back then. Like,
listen, men was right and men were strong back then. Right? Men are not being men today either. So I know a lot of times we could point the finger at women, but we also need to point the finger at some of these men, because the men not being men. Because now they have been I don't know the word. I mean, men are masculine, so now they become unmasculine. Emasculate, right? That's the word I'm looking for. Right? Because why? Because they are raised by who? Their mothers. Right? The father's no longer in the house. So now a lot of men today, or they call themselves a man, but they still at home. They call themselves gangster, their pants sagging, but they still at home, and mommy's still washing their clothes. How you gangster, you out there, you swinging guns, and your mother's still washing your clothes? Is that your wife now, your mother? The mother becomes the wife at this point. Right? So now, I don't want to just point the finger at a woman. Remember, this is two sides to the story, man. The men are not being men and the women are not being women. This is the condition that we're in, and this is why these lifestyles today are not really being applied on a high level. Because this is the culture of Israel. This is who we are. Read on that.
Verse 4. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife.
Right?
And Jacob went in unto her,
Right?
and Bilhah conceived, and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, The Most High hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice,
Mm-hmm.
and hath given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
Right, because Dan is what? The judge. Esau, in the end, he said what? Esau judge his people. Right? So that's why she called, because she said, you know what? The Most High must be judging me because what? He went into her one time. I'm sure Jacob jumped in on top of Rachel more than once. As much as he looked in favor for her and talked about how beautiful she was. You're not going to look at the woman and say, oh, she all this beauty and everything, and you're just going to walk on by her. No. Every chance you get, you're going to be all over that woman. But nothing came out. He jumped on Bilhah and bam, one time she conceived. And at this point, Rachel has woken up to reality and said, the Most High must be judging me. That's how I must name this boy Dan. Right? So we have these names because these names have meanings. Right? Read on now.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again,
Right?
and bare Jacob a second son.
Wait a minute. He got him back with her again, and she got a second son. Read.
And Rachel said, With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali.
Right. And he called his name what? Naphtali. Another northern tribe. Right? Coming out. So she see now this battle that she's having with the Most High and the spirits that's on her, and now she's realizing that, you know, this thing is not right.
Right.
You know, something is wrong. I got to get myself right with the Most High. And a lot of times, you know, I don't want to just say women, but we're on the topic of women. Women a lot of times don't look at each other and be like, yo, you shouldn't wear that or you shouldn't do that, right? And correct one another. A lot of times they think it's like, oh, I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want to say nothing to me. Leave me alone. I ain't got no part of it, you know. But here in the scriptures, the woman made sure that they examined themselves. You don't need nobody to check you if you're examining yourself, because that's what the scriptures tell us to do, right? Hold that out and give me that. Examine yourself. I think it's 1 Corinthians 13 and 8. Second, okay. Mm-hmm. Right. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
Examine yourselves.
Do what?
Examine yourselves.
Do what?
Examine yourselves.
Right. You must examine yourself as women and as men, as Hebrews. Examine yourself. Are you doing what you can for the nation? Are you doing what you can for yourself, building up your house? Examine yourself. Think about that for a minute. Read.
Whether ye be in the faith.
Right. Are you in this faith as being a Hebrew Israelite? Or are you faking it? You know, they got an old saying in the world, fake it until you make it, huh? But are you in this thing for real? Examine yourself, whether you be in the faith. Read.
Prove your own selves.
Do what?
Prove your own selves.
Say it again.
Prove your own selves.
Right. Prove yourself. How do you do that? How do you know how strong you are if you never lift anything? If somebody said, how much you can lift? And you say, well, you know, I only can lift 50 pounds. Well, I'm going to say, you know what? Take this 75-pound bar. Let me see what you can do. Prove yourself. Let me see what you can do. Lift that 75. You can't lift the 75, so you know that, okay, I can only do that 50. But I need to work on myself so I can do better. Everybody understand that? Prove yourself so you can do better. You don't know how strong you are until you go through some things. As a man, your wife could leave you, go off, have a baby from somebody else, sell your house, lose your car, you got no place to live, all kind of madness happen to you. But at the end of the day, you come out, and as the scripture says, you get the victory, then you're the winner. Because now you've been proven, you went through the fire. You got to go through the fire, man. You can't expect to get the kingdom and just be walking up in the kingdom like, yeah, I'm going to the kingdom. See you later. Without going through some things. We're going to go through hell and hot water. If you think things are going to be smooth, you need to check yourself. If things are smooth for you, the storm is coming. Get ready. If you ain't been through it yet, the storm is coming. And you're not going to know until it come and hit you. And when it do, you better be ready. Like I read earlier today, we are children of the light, not of the dark, not of night. Right? Put on your faith, put on your breastplate, put on your love, put on your hope, your salvation. These are the things that you need to be putting on to get ready to deal with the wiles of Satan. Everybody understand that?
I got a precept.
I know you do. I felt you over there. Go ahead, Al. What you got?
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, starting at 18.
I think I know what that is. Hold on. Let me get it. Let them get it. We're in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33.
Verse 18, starting at 18. Because the minister said something powerful. He said, we as men, anything can happen. Spirit jump on a woman, and she try to destroy your life, take your children, leave you, get some other man, try to ruin you. All right? So we're going to start at verse 18. Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears,
Right.
ye rulers of the congregation. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend power over thee,
Right.
while thou livest.
You hear that? Everybody hear that? It says, hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, and ye rulers of the congregation. We talk about the men, the elders. Right? Give not thy son and wife, thy brother, friend, power over thee while thou livest. That means as elders and as priests, as ministers, we need to do this job no matter what. The house on fire yesterday, you at the Shabbat today. Everybody understand that? Everybody's still alive, right? Everybody's still living. Everybody made it out. You need to be at the Shabbat doing the Shabbat. Everybody got that? That's very important. Read.
And give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
You're doing this, you gotta expect everyone else to be doing it. You can't just take it upon yourself and just be like, other people, they go out there, they do all kind of wickedness, and they make all kind of excuses why they can't be here at the Shabbat. But as elders, as priests, as ministers, bishops, and people of status, the Levite priests, what? They are responsible for the congregation. Right? We need to be here no matter what. If you don't see me here, trust me, I tell you, something befall me why I cannot be here. Right? I make sure I'm here every week, whether you come or not. Because that's our job. There's a responsibility that the Most High has given us to be consistent. This is what we have to do. This is part of our walk. This is a part of the examination. Examine yourself. People say, I can't come, I got to get my money right. I can't come, I got to get my wife right. I can't come, I got to get my life right. I got to get my life, my money, and my wife right. I got to get my car right. Then you get a car and you never come back. What's going on here? No, I'm just saying, what's going on? What's really going on? It's a lot of excuses, but what? As they used to have a commercial to come on TV, and I'm sure Captain Bayath could attest to it. He said, excuses doesn't give you a good body, exercise does. So excuses not going to get you into the kingdom, man. exercising these laws and statute commandments and having faith in Yahweh is how you're going to get to this kingdom. Everybody understand that? So we got to go back. We got to think. Is more in there? Come. Go ahead.
As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any.
Right.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
Right. Better that the children later on, they jacked up, they all screwed up, they calling you, oh, Abba, can you pray for me? I'm going through some things. Right? Or they may come back to you and say, listen, you know, I messed up. I need to come back to service. Right? The children come to you. Because why? They have now an outlet that they can come to. But if you be courteous to them and be with them, then you're going to fall off and follow them.
Right.
You got to be that brick. You got to be that stone.
Because a lot of times, you know, women, they use the children to control the man.
Right.
To have power over the man.
Right.
So you can't stand at their courtesy. You can't let that move you. You have your plan. You dead set in your plan and you don't move. It's better she, all right, she going like that. She take them, let them children come seek you. All right? Don't let them see you, you know, groveling hands and knees to this woman. Because they're going to come of age, they're going to grow up, and they're going to see that. They're going to see that image.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? When they see you never bent and you never fold, they're going to have that respect for you as a man. They're going to grow older and they're going to see.
Yeah. And they're going to seek the Most High. They're going to come to you for the knowledge of the Most High. All right?
Verse 22.
Go ahead.
And in all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
Right. Be up front, honest. Right?
Right. Keep your honor.
Keep your honor. That's most important. Right? Read.
At the time when thou shalt end thy days and finish thy life, distribute thine inheritance.
Right. So at that point, when you get ready to go, you distribute your inheritance. But at the, you know, you make sure you be steadfast,
Right.
and you hold to the faith,
Right.
no matter what.
Because your honor is what's important.
Right.
The things that you have, you gained, you acquired in life, that thing gonna be distributed regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
The scriptures say all your work gonna be redistributed. You get up every day and you work. When you go, and guess what? Your work gonna get distributed to somebody else. All your money, everything you gained, right? So what's important? Your honor and your dignity.
That's right.
That's very important to keep that intact.
That's right.
At the end of your days, you distribute your inheritance and that's it. Yeah.
Go back to 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians, sorry, and finish that, and we go back to the portion.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves,
Right?
whether ye be in the faith.
Right?
Prove your own selves.
Mm-hmm.
Know ye not your own selves?
Don't you, wait a minute, don't you know yourself? You should know yourself. Right? You should know yourself, right? If you know some, if you're an older man, you know some young girl coming to you and say, hey, I want to be your wife. You look at her like, you know what? I ain't going to do that to myself. I ain't crazy. I know myself. Right? I want to continue coming to the Shabbat, keeping the Shabbat. I get that young girl, didn't Bill Withers make that song, leave that young thing alone? Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Right? He telling the truth. He ain't telling no lie now. Right? So use wisdom. Be wise. Right? Prove your own self. You know yourself. Read.
Know ye not your own selves?
Know you not your own self? Read.
How that Hamashiach Yahushua is in you.
Right?
Except ye be reprobates.
Right. Don't you know that Hamashiach Yahushua dwells in you, in your spirit? Unless you be a reprobate, then he's not going to be there. You don't want to be a reprobate. Read on.
But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates.
Right. We are not reprobates. Read on.
Now I pray to the Most High that ye do no evil.
Right. We do no evil. Read.
Not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest.
Which is what?
Honest.
We should be honest with one another. Right? Do that which is honest with one another, not do evil. Read.
Though we be as reprobates.
Right? Though we act like we reprobates. Read on.
For we can do nothing against the truth.
Right?
But for the truth.
That's right. One of my favorite scriptures. You can't do nothing against this truth but for the truth. That's right. Nick Cannon brought it out. The real Jews are black. You damn right. And those people claiming to be the Jew, the 13th tribe. That's it. It is what it is.
Not Kanye West.
He another joker. But if he's saying the real Jews are black, then hallelujah. Right? We all different shades of brown. Right? So let's go back. Let's go back to the portion. Right? So we got to prove ourselves. Rachel has realized now that it's like, you know what? I messed up. I haven't had any children yet. My concubine done had 2 children now. Something must be wrong. I must be doing something wrong. She now has to do what? Examine herself. Not go to the OBGYN and examine herself. If you have to go there, you got to go. But examine yourself in the spirit. Why are you not having these children? Because something must be wrong. Okay? Let's go back.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 9. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her to Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh. And she called his name Gad.
Hallelujah. You got to read that one again now. Hold on now. Let's get it. Let's get it one more time. Man.
Verse 9.
Okay.
When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife.
Right.
And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son.
Right.
And Leah said, A troop cometh.
That's it.
And she called his name Gad.
That's right. Said the troop is coming.
All right, she coming with all these kids, all these sons.
That's
the
it.
troop coming.
The troop is coming.
Right.
That's right. The troop is coming. The Gadites is coming. It's going down. It's going down today. You know, how many she got now?
I think she got
Like 5.
She got 5?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. She ready for the NBA. That's the best team right there. That's better than the dream team. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son.
Wow.
And
Damn.
Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher.
Why did she call him Asher? Why? What does Asher mean?
Happy.
Happy. Right. Happy. Asher. You right? So at this point, Leah is ecstatic right now. She's having all the tribes, man. She enjoying this one. All right? Even the handmaid, Zilpah, is dropping them. Zilpah dropped the second one, all right? So how many she got now? How many they all got in the house now? How many male children is in the house?
6. Or Leah's house?
Yeah, Leah's house.
6.
We at 6 right now. How many Rachel got?
2.
2. 6 to 2. Right now in basketball, she's losing. She's not doing that good. All right? Read on.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah.
Right.
And Rachel said unto Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of the son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also?
Right.
And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes.
What's going on here, man?
Wow.
What's going on?
They're working it out.
They're working it out.
They got issues and they working it out.
That's what's really going on.
Right.
That's the overall picture, which is very good. They got issues, but they're working it out within each other, because they want to have this children. They want to have this family. and they want to live together and be a good family, a strong family, wholesome, you know. And at this point, you see, Reuben is old enough. At this point, he went out and got the mandrakes, right? And now Leah is saying, "Man, that's my firstborn." He went out and got the mandrakes. You want my husband and the mandrakes? What you got going on?
All right, that was Leah's secret weapon right there.
Right.
The mandrakes.
Right. So, read on out.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night.
Wow. What's going on here?
She let Jacob know what transpired. Said, listen, you with me tonight. Right?
Right. She's with her tonight. Why? Where's the mandrakes at?
Rachel got the mandrakes.
Rachel got the mandrakes. Why? Because she's planning. She's supplanted now. You know, she's you know what? You know what it really is? It's Rachel is actually making a sacrifice right now. So look at the big picture. You know, she got the mandrakes. They did a little trade off, and they say, okay, you have them tonight. I'm going to take them tonight. I don't know. A lot of times people look at Jacob and is like, oh, this guy was just sleeping around with these women. You know, and I think personally that Jacob is the one being used here. He been tossed over here, over there. Get over here. Come over here. Lay with me tonight. This guy must have been agile or something. You know what I mean? He must have been like, you know, he must have been pretty, you know, strong guy. You know what I'm saying?
Like you wrestled the angel.
Well, yeah, but not yet though.
He moving the stone off the well.
Yeah, he moved the stone off the well. Yeah, so.
But you know, all he know is, you know, he like Rachel. You know, she, you know, probably got personality. Probably just a good time. You know. And beautiful. Beautiful. That was a big thing. The beauty, and beauty Leah, fell in love with the beauty. Right. And Leah probably just, you know.
She was tender eyed. She was nice to look at.
Right. She just chilling.
But Leah, if you notice, was the one that was more, you know, in tune with the Most High, more righteous. You're looking to seek the Most High and saying, yo, I need help. You know, I want to have. And she's trying to get favor from the husband. So she didn't go to the husband. She went to the Most High. You know, that's something for women to, that's food for thought. That, you know what, my husband, I feel like, you know, he's not, you know, maybe, you know, he's not giving me that much attention. Maybe I need a little bit more from him. Instead of you going to him, telling him, yo, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. You're not being a good husband to me, right? You know, seek the Most High. You know, seek the Most High. She seeked the Most High, and what? The Most High kept giving her these children. Obviously, Jacob kept turning around and said, man, I'm having another son. I got another son. Wow. I have all these children with Leah, but not one yet with Rachel. So now Rachel, at this point, she's like, yo, this is it. I know your son came back with the mandrakes, so give me the mandrakes, man, and you take them for the night. Right? So now she's making a sacrifice. She's sowing. What I want to say, she's showing that she's willing to work with her sister wife to get this thing settled. Everybody understand that? There was only heard one person say, Everybody understand? All right? The women are working this thing out. They got to work it out. Right? The future is in their hands, is in the Most High's hands and theirs. Right? They screw this thing up, we wouldn't be here. Con? All right, read on.
Verse 16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes.
Ain't that something? She hired him. What she got going on? She hired him with the mandrakes? I said, see, Bayath is in that room, you pull up the mandrakes. The mandrakes, you get them on Amazon, believe it or not. But don't buy it. I don't know what's in there. Go ahead.
And he lay with her that night. And the Most High hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, Most High have given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband, and she called his name Issachar.
Wow. You see that? Because that's the prophecy of Issachar. He is hired. Right? Because he's the workhorse. That's why Esau always hired Issachar. Because Issachar represents, their sign for their tribe is the donkey. No matter what you do to that donkey, he gonna work. You put all them beans on him, you put all hay on him, it don't matter what, huh?
Made to carry heavy burdens.
Yeah, he's made to carry those heavy burdens, and Issachar still to this day is like that. That's how you know that it's the so-called Mexicans that we speak about today. Because they're the only ones that, have that burden like that. They've been put on them to work for less money, $2 an hour. 22 of them living in a one-bedroom apartment. All kind of stuff be going down. And they still be dwelling in harmony. They on there making adios con pollo, café con leche all up every day. Habichuelas is flying through there. Them burritos is going down. And they all stick together. You see them. Right? So, she said, I got to name him Issachar. He's hired. Read on now.
And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob a sixth son.
Man.
And Leah said, the Most High hath endued me with a good dowry. So endowed me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun.
Whoa, call his name Zebulun, right? What does Zebulun mean? Huh? Let's look at Genesis 49. Let's see. You said what? Dwelling?
Yeah.
Like a dwelling?
Kind of.
Right. Let's look at Genesis 49. Let's see what Zebulun. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Verse 13.
That's right. Yeah, read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and shall be for a haven of ships.
Right.
And his border shall be unto Zidon.
Right. So Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, the dwelling place, right? And inhabited, right? So that's why she called him dwelling, right? Because of his name, Zebulun. And then we read Issachar. Issachar, it says, is as strong as a couching down between two burdens. They were made to deal with hard burdens. That's why their sign is the donkey, right? We're going into the tribes too, also with this portion. Getting to understand what each one of them, what their meaning was, because that's what when we have children, the children name has to mean something. You can't call the children Bully Bobo. That don't mean nothing, right? Oh, this here sounds nice. Beyonce named her children this. Or Kanye West named his daughter Southwest or something like that. Something crazy. Northwest, right? What are you going with this? What does that mean? The North Pole? Santa Claus is there? What does that mean? Why would you name your children that? They got to go to school. They got to deal with that, man. You name your children something righteous. You know that it means something. Right? Con? Make sure you name your children right. Our beloved brother, Shepshawan, named his son Yawasap. Joseph. Right? Strong. It's a good name. Right? All right, read on.
Verse 21.
21.
And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah.
Right, so he got a daughter now, right? And called her Dinah, right? So that was her name. So Jacob did have a daughter, even though she had all those sons, but she had one daughter. Huh? Read.
And the Most High remembered Rachel, and the Most High hearkened to her, and opened her womb, and she conceived and bare a son, and said, the Most High hath taken away my reproach.
Right. He taken away her reproach. What does that mean she did? What did the Most High do? Take away her reproach. What is that?
Took away her bad name for not having children.
Right. Took away her complaint. Right. Took away her name. Right. From having from her having these children. He said, I'm going to give you something now. I'm going to give you this child now. Because now you was showing you sacrifice. You was able to work it out with your sister. Right? And now I'm going to bless you. So you got to go with the Most High. You can't just do this thing on your own. Right? Read on.
And she called his name Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
and said, Yahweh shall add unto me another son.
Right.
Verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place, and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Most High hath blessed me for thy sake.
Right, so Jacob at this point got having his children, he got his wives, he ready to go on his own. But Laban ain't ready to let him go. Ready to put the cuffs on him and keep him there. Right? When you have that connection between each other, right? This is something that you grow to you watch the family grow. Right? You will want to keep them. Because even the scriptures tell us that, if you have a son or you have someone that come and work for you and they take one of your daughters to wife, I mean, that's a law. And you can take her and you can leave, and then of course the father will bless you if it be so. But if not, you guys can stay. And he'll find a place for you on the land. And y'all live there and build your foundation there. All right? Everybody understand that? So this is what Laban is telling them. All right? Read on.
Verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hast before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And Yahweh hath blessed thee since my coming.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when shall I provide for my own house also?
Right. So now Jacob is telling him, when I got here, I didn't have nothing. I had little, very little. But now I've been here with you, I watched my household grow. I got my wives. I got my children. I got some money saved up now. I want to provide for my own.
It's lucky.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said how little Laban had.
No.
Kind
You said Laban had.
Yeah, Laban had little when he showed up. Now,
Oh, okay.
Now Laban has.
Right. It's lucky.
Kind.
Yeah.
Let me read it again.
Go ahead.
Verse 29.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me.
Mm-hmm.
For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude.
Right.
And Yahweh hath blessed thee since my coming.
Right.
And now, when shall I provide for mine own house also?
Okay.
And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything.
Mm-hmm.
If thou wilt do this thing for me,
Right.
I will again feed and keep thy flock.
Right.
I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep,
Mm-hmm.
and the spotted and speckled among the goats. And of such shall be my hire.
Right.
So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come,
Mm-hmm.
when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted amongst the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straight and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that hath some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep,
Mm-hmm.
and gave them unto the hand of his sons.
Right.
And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of hazel and chestnut tree, and piled white stakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring straight, speckled and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks forward the ring stakes, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger were Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and manservants, and camels, and donkeys.
Right, so what is Jacob doing here? He's preparing for the departure, right? And he's making sure the animals are good, the ones that speckled and this, and he's separating all of them. Okay. He's getting everything prepared for his departure, for him to go and serve, and take care of his family. But you want to make sure that, when you moving like that, that you want to take the strong ones, you want to take ones that's going to last to take that trip. Because remember, we're going to read it in another portion that he's going to be doing a lot of traveling. He's going to have a lot of battles with him and the children. Okay. So, go ahead.
Well, also, as you read, it shows you the way he bred them. Yeah. It's the type of way he bred them, that they would bear more speckled and spotted and striped. All right? So that he would leave out with more animals than Laban would have. All right? So the way he set it up was that he would get more increase than Laban would.
He gonna need it. He gonna need it with them 13 children. All right? All right? And those maids and everything. Right? You have a lot of children and maids and all that. All right, we're going on to the 31st. We finished at 32 and 2. Okay. So we're going to finish up this 31st chapter.
Chapter 31.
Okay.
And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's.
Right.
And of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And the Most High said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the Most High of the power of my fathers hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But the Most High suffered him not to hurt me.
Right.
If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle that bear speckled, and if he said thus, the ring straight shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring straight. Thus the Most High hath taken away the cattle of your father, and hath given them to me.
Right, so Jacob obeyed the father, man. And no matter what Laban threw at him, he didn't change. Whether, it didn't matter. Whatever he threw at him, his wages changes, he still stayed Laban. Whether he's going to have the speckle or he's going to have the ring strength, he's still going to stay with Laban. He still stayed his own way. That's what we talked about earlier, about being steadfast. Don't let the people of your family control you, right? Don't let what you make in your boss or anybody control you. have that control over you. You come in, you do your job, you get on out of there. You come in, you do your work, you get on out of there. Everybody understand that? All right? All right, read on.
And it came to pass, at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-straight, speckled, and gristled. And the angel of the Most High spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I.
Right.
And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle, which are ring-straight, speckled, and gristled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the Most High of Bethel. I am the power of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, and get thee out from this land, and now return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion of inheritance for us in thy father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money.
Right, so hold on, let's go a little further. He said, I am the Most High, the power of Bethel. Remember when he anointed the stone? You know, remember, he said he was going to come back there. He told him to go back there, right? Bring all the cattle. I've been with you. And he said what? I saw what Laban was doing with you. Messing with your wages, doing this, and how he moved with the women and all that. You see, a lot of times, you know, we like to take matters into our own hand when somebody do something to us. But what? At the end of the day, you see Jacob, he didn't do that. You know, he stayed the same way. He served his power, and he left everything in the hands of Yahweh. Right? And now Yahweh is bringing it all back to him in a dream, telling him, I saw you. You know? And I'm glad that you anointed that stone in Bethel. Go back there. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be with thee, because I see that you was faithful with me. And I see how LeBron was, which is not, you know, he going to deal with him in his due time. Right? Read on now.
Verse 16. For all the riches which the Most High hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's, now then, whatsoever the Most High hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up, and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle, and all his goods, which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's.
Okay, here we go again. You know, unfortunately, you see Leah didn't do these things, right? Leah will stay steadfast. She prayed to the Most High. But now, Rachel, she went through all these things. She was barren for a while, and now she finally prayed to the Most High. She did her sacrifice, giving up the Mandrakes. She worked out the issue between them, and the Most High heard her prayer, and took away her complaint, and did what? Blessed her with the children. And now, when they're leaving, what did Rachel do? Steal the images that were her father's. That's not good. Read on.
And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled.
Right.
And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And the Most High came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not of Jacob either good or bad.
Right.
Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword?
Right, so where's he going with that? Now, he totally ignored the dream, because the dream said don't say nothing good or bad about Jacob. Right, he went and totally ignored him and just was like, yo, what's going on? Now you take my daughters and you took them with the sword, like you took them with force. You know, right, he knew he paid for me, worked the 14 years, you know what I mean? He put in his time, he paid his dowry, he did everything that he needed to do, but still, Laban is in the flesh right now, so he's not rolling in the spirit. So he comes up to Jacob, with these accusations. Right, read on.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp?
Right.
And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing.
Right, so now he's telling him, why you ain't tell me you was leaving? We could have did a party. Do a feast or something, you know what I mean?
He was acting different. That's
right, he was acting funny. He had, he didn't look at him the same.
Right.
So, Jacob's like, well, let me go. Right? Now, he didn't know that Rachel was going to steal that stuff. Okay? So, but he would say, let me get out of here. He acted funny. You know how we do. So I'll just go, I'll holler at him later or something. Right, read on.
Verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But the Most High, the power of your father, spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
Right.
And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods?
Right. So now he went to Jacob and said, yeah, you stolen my gods. I don't know what Laban on. He not in the spirit at all. He totally ignored the Most High in the dream, and he got these gods, these images with him. Read on.
And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy powers, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them.
Right, so Jacob was in the dark about this little thing that Rachel did. And the bond was ready to say, if you find somebody with him, take him out. Because, stealing, that's a big no-no during this time. Read on.
And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, and found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot arise up before thee, for the custom of woman is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images.
Right, so now she said, the custom of the woman. What she got going on?
The time of the month.
She can't get up.
Right.
Right, so this is like, I guess she can't get up because she's having, the woman stuff. Right?
He don't want to deal with it. He's like, all right.
Right, he give her space.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Verse 36.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob was wroth, and trode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not to thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hands didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night.
Right. So now that Jacob is telling him, listen, I served you. I was there 20 years.
Honestly.
Right. Honestly, I was there 20 years, and he didn't take anything. He said even when the beast was torn, because in the law it tells you that if one beast devours another or fights another one and tear him, you still can't eat that, right? So even Jacob, he knew the law. He wasn't giving him none of this stuff. So he was honest with him from the beginning all the way to the end. So why is he coming to? It's like you've been honest with somebody, right, and now they come to your house and say, yo, I think you stole my I think you stole my wife's bracelet.
When you had every opportunity to steal from
right. I've been living with you for 20 years. I could have stole a bracelet, sold it, and brought it back. Took it to the pawn shop, got some money for it, and then took it out of the pawn shop and gave it back to you all this time. Right? But he come over his house, searching him up. I mean, that's make you feel very uncomfortable, because that means that what? You didn't trust me. Or you trusted me, and now I what? I dishonored you by stealing. See, a lot of times people think that stealing is nothing. Or, like I used to tell my children, they go on top of the dresser and take 50 cents off or 75 cents, and they go get ice cream, they run, go get candy or something. And I say, well, did you ask me for it? Well, I figured it was up there on the dresser that, we could just take it. And I said, no, that's stealing. You ask for the money. The scriptures tell us, thou shalt not steal. Right? So we got to remember that, we got to teach our children these things. So now Laban is in the situation that he's very upset with Laban. Jacob is upset with Laban because now he's accusing him of stealing something, and he's in his house searching up everything. He in the tents, searching up everything like he's like he the police or something. Where's the search warrant at, right? Read on. Is that
40?
42. 43.
No, not yet. 41. Say, served 14 years and 2 daughters.
Verse 41. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house.
Right.
I have served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters.
Right.
And 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times, except the power of my father, the power of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. The Most High has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle.
Wait a minute now. What spirit Laban got on him? The man worked his 20 years. Why didn't you give him what is due? He got a spirit on him.
He's starting to treat him like a heathen now. Because remember at the beginning, he said, surely you are my flesh and my bone.
And my bone, right.
And surely you can't work for me for nothing. Because you can't, have your brother slave. If your brother working for you, you got to pay him. But now he's trying to treat him like how you would treat a heathen.
Right.
Because it's in the law, right? If a heathen is your servant, right? And you give him a wife, all that wife still belong to you, and all the children that come from that marriage belong to him.
That's right.
And everything they produce still belongs to that
still
master.
Belongs to the master.
So now he's trying to treat him like he's not family.
Right. That's what's happening here. Read on. The 43. Start from the beginning.
Verse 43. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters are unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore, come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap. And they did eat therefore upon the heap. And Laban called it Jagar Sad Hadutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead.
Yeah, you see that? So even though they went and they try to work things out right then and there at that place, they have a name for that because of the thing that happened between them, the ish that they have with each other. So they even named that place where the stones was at. So let's read on. Let's see what's going on there.
Verse 49.
Verse 49.
And Mizpah, for he said, The Most High watch between me and thee when we are absent from one another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, the Most High is witness between me and thee.
Right. So now at this point, what is he going with now? That he's only supposed to be with his daughters? What kind of spirit he got going on now?
Because he worried about whatever prosperings may be passed down.
The heritage.
Right.
Yeah.
He don't want to share to any other women.
Right. You know, Laban is like really going out of the spirit now. Because at first, in the beginning, he was like, you bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. We family. But this is what happens when sometimes when you meet people, you know, even though that's Jacob's mother's brother, that's his uncle. You know, people act, like I was talking to Brother Ariella, he's not here. And I was just saying, you know, people act funny, you know, sometimes when they hear things about money coming. You know, money coming down the pipe somewhere and you're about to get something, people act, you know, a different way towards you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, unfortunately, you, at the end of the day, still have to serve the Most High and be in your spirit with the Most High. And that's how you see Jacob was. No matter what Laban threw at him, he still did the work of the Most High. Everybody understand that? All right, go ahead.
Verse 52. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm.
Right.
The power of Abraham and the power of Nahor, the power of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread.
Right.
And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount.
Right.
And early in the morning Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place.
Right. So they set up a prayer to the Most High, and they sat back and they ate bread and they drank. And Laban, at this point, you know, he did all the searching he did and all the accusations he did. At the end of the day, he still blessed Jacob and said, you know what, you got my blessing. You know, I'm gonna go back to my place. All right. And, you know, there's more to the story. We don't have, you know, of course, the portion ends at the second verse on the next chapter. But we're going to pick it back up next week. And we'll get the truth. We're going to find out next week, you know, possibly who really took this. Well, we know who took it, Rachel. But now it's going to be out, right? The news is going to be out. All right. Go ahead. You read the last two.
Chapter 32, verse 1.
Right.
And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the Most High met him.
Right, more than one. Go ahead.
And when Jacob saw them, he said, This is God's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Mahanaim.
So with that, give the Most High a hand. We finished the portion. So even when Jacob went to a place that the angels came and visited, more than one angel came to visit him. Go ahead. More than one angel came to visit him. He even named that place. So these are historical events that happen during history, and what they do is, you know, they name the place. Why? Because it's a remembrance. You know, whenever you go past that place, you're gonna say, well, this is Mahanaim. This is the place where the angels came in and saw Jacob. Right? So, and whenever you go to something else, You go to another place and you say, oh, this is where Jacob anointed the stone. Here is where he said he wanted us to be, in this land with my wives and my family and everybody there. So this place was named Bethel, right? Which is very important. These names are very important because what it does is that it gives remembrance to where things happen. Just like when we come out of America and we leave out of here, when we leave out of here, we get into our land, we're going to go back to naming things, right? We're going to go back to saying, okay, this is when we had conquered Esau and this land of the conquering of Esau. We'll come up with a Hebrew name of that, right? So whatever it might be, whatever historical event, we're going to go ahead and name it, and we're going to prosper with this. Hallelujah. All right. Thawada for everyone coming out, to keeping the Shabbat day with the Luz de Zion. We ended a little late, but it was pretty good. I didn't go too far. I didn't want to go over to 5, 6 o'clock going to this class. But I just wanted to bring out some things on the marriage, because marriage is very important. Marriage is honorable, and the bed is undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High will judge. Right? So you have your wife. This is your wife. Okay? It's not your side piece. It's not your jump off. When you enter into this woman, you know that this woman is going to be your wife. So you make sure that, she got everything upstairs. Make sure that the elevator goes all the way to the top floor. It don't stop halfway. And you got some chick that's bugged out of her mind. Now you attach yourself to somebody that's crazy. Somebody will have some sort of mental problem. The same thing with the women. I say men, but same thing with the women. The women have to realize that, you have a man, a Lord over you. This is your ruler. You can't move in the spirit like Rachel. Give me my baby. That's not the spirit you move in. When she did that, what happened? What results she got? None. The first thing he said, who do you think I am? The Most High? Right? I can plant the seed in you, but it's all up to the Most High to bring forth that life. Everybody understand that? Right? Because you could be planting the seed. As you notice, she had how many children before Rachel had? Her first. Like 5, right? 6? 6 children before Rachel had her one. How many years is that? That's at least more than 6 years. After you have the pregnant, you got to go through 9 months, and then after you have the child, then that's at least a little bit over a year for each child. So she gone 6 years, almost 7 years without any children, completion. And then after she did the mandrakes and she did the trade-off with Reuben, let me get the mandrakes, and I'll take the mandrakes. And then Leah got in her feelings a little bit. She got her flesh. She turned around and said, damn, you taking the mandrakes and my husband? And she was like, no, man. Take the husband. You have him tonight. I'm going to take the mandrakes. I'll catch him on the next night. So she's showing what? Hospitality to her sister. She's showing a sacrifice she's willing to make. She's showing that what? She's willing to work things out with that other woman. And it's not just the other woman. That's her sister. Born from the same father. All right? So she worked things out with her, and they agreed, and they was happy at that point, and that's when, boom, the Most High said, you know what? I've heard you, and I'm going to take away your reproach. What does that mean? Your complaint of you not having children, you being barren. And she said, okay. And he said, okay, I'm going to bless you and give you this child. Right? And she was happy. Anybody got that? So this is the beginning, the foundation of our nation. Remember, Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes and nation of Israel. Everybody understand that? Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. And progenitor means father. He's the one who's starting the nation out. He's a father. And he's setting the foundation. He worked 20 years. He said he worked, every time I read this portion, you always learn something. He said he worked 6 years for the cattle. You see that? all you see, all the stuff he was doing with the speckle and all that, and the one that's just strained and all that he did that in 6 years to what? Huh? No, you can leave it live for right now. I'm talking. He did all of that to do what? To prepare for his departure. He didn't just say, "Yo, I'm out, taking my wives, I'm gone," and you gone with no way to fend for them. So when he made his wages, he made his money, he saved his money, and then he went for 6 years. After the 14 years, he did 6 more years to do what? To build up his cattle. He built up the cattle, made them nice and strong and healthy, separated them. If they were speckled, he kept the speckle with the speckle, because when they go to make more children, more cattle, they're going to come out with more speckles. So he separated them for that reason, you right? And the ones that were strong and didn't have all that stuff on them, he kept them together, so when they populated, they came out fine. Because he didn't want to, remember, if you took the speckled ones and mix them in with the good ones, then the good ones, when they come out, they're going to have, some of them may have speckles, some may not. So that's why he separated all of that, you know what I'm saying? But he did, for 6 years, he prepared to departure, and that's something that men today don't do. So I want to touch on that. Look at what Jacob did. He worked these years, he saved his money, he made sure he got the land before he even got the women. Think about that for a minute. He anointed what? The stone, right? And he called the place what? Bethel. And what did he do after that? He went and got the women. And the Most High said, when you get the women, he got the cattle. Then he moved back to Bethel. Right? Where that stone was at. And the Most High said, if you move there, I'm going to bless you. Why we don't do that? Why we take the woman and she's still home with her mother or grandma? Why we don't set up, some sort of savings where we can get our money right and get our savings right and get some money to the side and then take the woman. And when you bring the woman, you bringing her to your place. Why you got to take the woman and then bring her back to my place? I'm just using me, but not me personally. Right? So as men, it would, I'm talking to the men now, you would want to be in a position to take the woman. Right? Making sure that you have your place, that you have a place for the woman to come. When she gets there, she got a dresser, she got a mirror, she got stuff that she needs as a woman. She's coming to your house. This is going to be your wife. Not you coming to take her to your mother's bedroom, You coming to take her to your mother's house. You living with your mother, and you got your own. Well, I got my own room. Why can't I bring my wife to my room? Because that's your mother's house. That's not your house. These guys, they don't get it. And as women don't get it either, because women, they look at the guy and be like, oh, he's cute, he's beautiful, he's tall, he's handsome, he's this, he's that, but what is he doing? What is he doing to provide, to prepare for your coming? What is he doing? Absolutely nothing. Sitting at home playing video games. Getting a new Fortnite. Getting the NBA 2K 2022. Right? Is that going to help pay the bills? Is that going to help do anything? So as a woman, you would want to get with a man that is going to prepare for your coming. And as a man, you need to get with a woman that she knows that when she comes, she's coming to the table with something. And she's going to come and enter into your home, and she's going to know that you are Lord over your home. Everybody understand that? I only heard one cunt. There's a lot of people up in here. When you look at the arrangement for the marriage, you can see clearly that's what happened here. Even Isaac, he was upset at who? At Esau. because he was taking what? The women of Ishmael, right? And he was taking the women of Ham, correct? And he was upset at him. But when he saw Jacob, because he knew Jacob, at that point, he already got the birthright, he already got the blessing. He said, make sure you take, the woman of the right seed. Go to Laban and take the daughter. Right? And he went there. Before he took the daughter, what did he do? He worked that dowry off that first 7 years. Now LeBron tricked him, gave him a 649, but he still stayed steadfast doing the Most High's work and still took that woman, and then eventually took the second woman. And both of them gave him to the handmaids, which made it, how many wives Jacob had? 4. And what he did, after he had all 4 of these wives, after 14 years of labor with Laban, what did he do? He stayed another 6 more years to build up the cattle and get everything strong so that he could make his departure and now take these women, and move on his own and take care of his 13 children. Right? You see the process what's going on here? He may have went with LeBron, he may have stayed there and lived in the house, but he worked for him, he built up his status, he built up everything he needed to have, and then he took his family and he left to take care of his family according to Torah. And the Most High said if he do it that way, the place where he anointed that stone in Bethel that he named, that he's going to bless him. Everybody understand that? Yeah. All right. I want you to understand the story, because the story is a life story for us. The scriptures say we have to search out the old paths and see which way is the right way. This is the only way we're going to look at these things. We can't look at it, oh, that was then and this was now. What's the difference between then and now? I tell you, the only big difference between then and now is that we don't know who we are. That's the biggest difference. Right? But there's still people even today living this way, who actually have these wives and they live somewhere and they live in good, comfortable. It's only here in America they teach you that you can't have more than one wife. You only can have one wife. America teaches you that. The European teaches you that. The so-called white man teaches you that. But that is not Torah. The same guy is telling you you can't have more than one wife, but he's telling you can have a husband. That's men. And a woman could go with another woman. So why decide to listen to him? Why not listen to the Bible? Best instructions before leaving earth. Now I'm not telling you I'm not an advocate for, a man having all these wives. But everything must be done through Torah. Everybody understand that? That must be so. Because if it's not of Yah, then it's of who? Shaitan. Alright? So you can't get no chick and all of a sudden you just come with a hat and poof, you puff out a hat, you got a wife. It don't work like that. Alright? You have to be mindful of what we're doing. So with that, get the Most High hand again. Just wanted to make a quick speech. This is a good topic. It's a very intense topic. Sometimes it could be, some people get in their feelings. I've watched people get up and walk out the room. All kind of things happen. But the truth is the truth. You can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. It is what it is. Whether you believe or accept it or not, the Most High is true and every man is a liar. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And with that, those of you that want to reach out to the Treasure Coast, the Luz de Zion and the Treasure Coast, we're located in Port St. Lucie. If you want to reach out to us, keep the Shabbat with us, please make sure you text, email the number that is located at the bottom of your screen for the email on the YouTube channel. And we'll get back to you and give you the info where you could keep the Sabbath with us. We're working on getting a cell phone so you're able to call us direct. And also, so we're going to get some direct lines so you can reach out to us. With that, huh?
My number's on there.
Your number's on there? Okay. And the Captain Bayath, you can call and reach him, or Captain Yatazachaaq, you can reach them, or you can email us. All right? So with that, shalom to the nation of Israel, and we got next in the kingdom. Hallelujah.